it's Jody. Welcome to Gator Bites. Really thrilled about today's guest. He is a comedian, he's a television personality, a screenwriter, an actor, a producer, a director, a game show host, and an author, and may just be one of the busiest guys in showbiz. And he's bringing his stand-up comedy tour here to Fort Pierce next week at the Sunrise Theater. So let's welcome in Howie Mandel.
Well, thanks for having me in.
Hey, Howie, how you doing?
I don't know. I'm not an expert, but, probably okay.
I love your background, wherever you are. I got to ask you this because I know you're doing a little trek through Florida, doing a few stops next week, starting here in Fort Pierce at the Sunrise Theater. So many entertainers have been off the road for so long, better part of the last 2 years. Is this your first stand-up in 2 years?
Pretty close. I've done a couple of things over the last 2 years. This has been, for me, who as somebody who's been doing stand-up for over 40 years now, up until pandemic, I think the longest I had ever not been on stage was maybe 2.5 weeks, maybe three, stretching it. So I was off the road for the last 2 years. I think I've done one or two little things, but and they've been pretty close to home. So, traveling out of state and this is new and different and awkward, but I'm looking really forward to, for whatever it comes my way. I'm nervous, but it's going to be fun. And I need to do it. It's like the biggest distraction in the world. And if that's what people need, that they should show up at the theater, because this is a distraction. I will not be talking about news. I will not be talking about what's going on. It's just an evening of silliness and fun and escape.
And that is absolutely exactly, I think, what everyone needs after these last 2 years is laughter and comedy. So I'm so glad you're doing this. And starting here in Florida. So since you've been off the road for a while and you say you're a little nervous, anything special you've been doing to prepare, or because you've been doing this your whole life, it just comes naturally?
No, there's no preparation. I just nobody is more thrilled about this little tour than my wife, who is thrilled to have me out of the house. I've been married for 42 years. We celebrated our 42nd anniversary in quarantine, and she said she wanted to redo her vows, and her vow was enough already. So people say, how does it last this long? And it's on the verge of not lasting this long, but this tour is really good for our marriage. She's not coming.
That's great. So I was going to say she's staying at home.
She will not be anywhere in sight. She has no desire anywhere near me.
So you have a couple of projects in the works, and I know you have a podcast that you are doing with your daughter. Howie Mandel Does Stuff. Did you start this podcast during the pandemic? And tell us about it.
Both locked in the house, in our houses. My daughter is married with 2 kids, so she was locked in. I was locked in because I'm a crazy person, and so each and every day I would call her, and we would spend hours on the phone making prank calls, challenging our friends to things and other people that I work with. And my wife walked in one day and said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm just on the phone with Jackie. And she said, was it for a show? And I said, no. You should record it. So now that's the podcast. And if you listen this week, Heidi Klum is on. We had Tony Hawk, Jay Leno, Sarah Silverman, and we just do stuff. We just have a lot of fun. It's mostly inappropriate, but our sensibility and fun, and it is the distraction that I go for when I can't do stand-up comedy, which is my favorite distraction. So it's called Howie Mandel Does Stuff, wherever podcasts are available.
And how is it working with your daughter? I'm sure you're enjoying that.
Yeah, that's the highlight of my week, when I get to sit down with my kid, and that's the highlight is my grandchildren. But if I can't be with my grandchildren, I'd rather be with my children. So it's a thrill. It's a thrill. I hope she enjoys it like I do. You'd have to ask her.
Yeah, I'm sure she does. So you are getting ready. I believe it launches later this month. You will be a judge on Canada's Got Talent.
Yeah, I'm doing Canada's Got Talent. That starts March 22nd in Canada, and then we're actually starting America's Got Talent in production. I go back in April. It won't air till July. And then I also have another show that's going to premiere in April or May on Netflix called Bullshit.
Yeah, tell us about Bullshit.
Well, I'm not. They don't want me to talk about it yet because it's going to explode. But it's the most exciting thing I have done since Deal or No Deal. We give away a lot more money than that. You don't have to. You just gotta know whether somebody is bullshitting. You know, it's kind of a trivia game, but you don't have to get one answer right. You just have to convince one person that you know what you're talking about. So as a viewer, you don't have to know whether the answer was correct. You just have to be able to figure out whether that person is bullshitting or they really know what they're talking about. And it's kind of like watching. It's kind of like poker, you know. But it's really exciting, and we gave away bigger money, millions.
Wow.
Money than on Deal or No Deal. So that's on Netflix, and I don't know what the start date of that is, but that's what I just.
That's exciting, and I'm glad you brought up America's Got Talent because you have been a judge on that show, I think, longer than anyone else, right?
Yes.
11 seasons. I'm a big fan. Love you, Howie. I think that you bring the comic relief most of the time, even though it's a family entertainment show. You've been doing it for so long. Can you tell us like what that experience is like for you? What's it like going to work?
It's always new and fresh. I feel like the luckiest guy in the world. It doesn't really feel like a job. You know, I got into nothing I do in show business really feels like a job because everything I've ever been punished for, expelled for, gotten in trouble for is what I get paid for. But
Right.
You know, I just show up. You know, this is the 13th season that I'll be on, and it's the 12th season that I'll be on. This is the 13th season, but they've been going for 17 seasons.
Right.
In the first couple of seasons, this is my favorite kind of show. I love variety, and I would watch it, and now they're paying me to do what I was doing at home. I was sitting on my couch in my underpants critiquing like everybody else does.
Sure.
Everybody else sits in my underpants. I hope they don't. I can get ones. Anyway, they gave me some pants and a paycheck, and I'm doing the exact same thing. I just cannot believe that I have the best seat in the house to the best show on television. And it's just a dream to watch people's hopes and dreams come to fruition and their lives change in front of my eyes.
Do you have a favorite act over the last 12 seasons that stands out to you that was one of your favorites?
Yeah, there's a few. I loved The Unbeatable, who were this huge troupe from India that were doing amazing things, you know, tossing people.
Oh, I remember that.
Air and landing on the end of bamboo sticks or on bikes. And it didn't look like it was real. And there were no cables and there were no nets. It was just unbelievable. And then there are the surprises like Courtney Hadwin, who was this 13-year-old little shy girl who ended up being the second coming of Janis Joplin.
Yes.
To Grace VanderWaal, to Cody Lee, who was this young autistic blind young man who just blew the roof off the place with his singing and piano playing. So
I remember him too.
Yeah, those moments are just unforgettable, and people remember them, and they go viral, you know, for the world to enjoy. And I can't believe that I was there and had a front row seat to any of these kind of things.
What is it like to go to work and have your coworkers be Sofia Vergara, Heidi Klum, and Simon Cowell every day?
Again, I feel lucky. Heidi just came on the podcast, but they're beautiful, wonderful friends, funny. I just, you know, I think if you can get a little bit of laughter in your life, laughter is the best medicine. And when I sit on that panel and spend the day with those people, the one thing that we share the most is laughter and joy. And, you know, and that's what I'm hoping to bring to Fort Pierce. You know, they say laughter is the best medicine, and I'd like to be your pharmacy just for one night.
Yeah, the chemistry that all of you have together, you know, certainly radiates. Love the current lineup. I learned something about you, you know, because I've been a fan since the early days, St. Elsewhere, Bobby's World, but there's something that I just learned and realized was you that I never knew before, and it's an iconic movie from the 80s when I was a kid, one of my favorites. You were the voice of Gizmo and Gremlins?
Yeah, I was the voice of Gizmo. It's not that amazing because if you listen to Gizmo, Gizmo went, that's Gizmo. But that's the same voice as people know me from Bobby's World, which was the same. It's just not Bobby. It's the same voice. And I was also Skeeter on the Muppet Babies, which is Scooter's
Right.
the same voice. So I had
Yeah.
one voice, 3 jobs. That is the talent.
Like I said, you're one of the busiest guys in show business. You do a little bit of everything, but that was a surprise for me because, you know, Gizmo, of course, an iconic character from the movies. But getting back to your tour here starts this coming Tuesday. I encourage everyone to get tickets. You need laughter. You need to get out. And this is the perfect venue. It is the Sunrise Theater in Fort Pierce coming up on March 8th. Get your tickets to see Howie Mandel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Howie. It's great catching up.
Hopefully I see you there. Bye-bye.